Welcome to Parkside Athletics Telling Our Story, an interview series where we will spotlight alumni, supporters, staff, and student athletes. We'll share their stories and how they are being impactful to UW Parkside and their community. I'm Andrew Gavin, the Director of Athletics here at Parkside, and today we're thrilled to tell the story of Steve Donovan. Steve, or Rocky as most of us know him, started his Parkside story as a student athlete on the men's soccer team and remains heavily involved in the university today. So Rocky, before we get into some of your present involvement on campus and within the athletics department, let's go back to how your Parkside story started on the men's soccer team. So tell us a little bit about how'd you end up at Parkside and what was it like being part of that program?
Sure, yeah. It was 1984, and I was about 6'4" with my afro at the time. I had really big hair. It was the 80s. And Rick Kilps it was his first year as a soccer coach at University of Wisconsin Parkside. So I had been recruited by the previous coach who had left, and Rick and I had a chance to meet, and he still said, "Hey, we'd like you to come on board." And I said, "Well, I was planning on it anyway." So I showed up with my stuff, and turned out that team actually ended up in the Hall of Fame. That we went to nationals, and it was quite a first year for myself, and I think a good year for Coach Kilps also.
So you referenced being in the Hall of Fame, and the men's soccer program has such a storied history. And both with your experience as a student athlete and just at Parkside in general, I know you and I have talked before just about how that impacted your life, at the time, but also as you got into your post-graduation time, both personally and professionally, that Parkside really made an imprint on your success and your life's journey. So just how did Parkside impact you as a person?
Sure, yeah. When I was coming out of high school, I wasn't academically focused. I'll just put it that way. So I looked at it as an opportunity to continue just to play soccer, something I really loved to do, was really passionate about and really enjoyed. And then when I got here, when I got into the university, I discovered that, there was a real opportunity being presented to me because financially I didn't come from means or anything. So if I didn't have the scholarship, I wasn't going to college. It just wasn't going to be in the cards for me. So the program allowed me to actually attend college from a financial perspective. And then as I got into it, I'm like I said, I had a real opportunity to do something with this. And it sort of clicked in probably after somewhere in my second half of my sophomore year, after some late nights, but I won't get into that either. But and I became academically focused, and I went on and did graduate school at Parkside too, and things along those lines. And it really allowed me the opportunities to be where I'm at today, and I've enjoyed a really nice professional career, and I really owe, I think, all of it directly back to the opportunity that Parkside provided.
Well, on that note, one of the reasons we've spent a lot of time together recently is you're the chair of our Ranger Vision 2020 steering committee. You and I kind of tag team publicly launching that as part of Parkside Day on March 5th of last year. And obviously it's been an interesting fundraising campaign to do so in the midst of the pandemic and everything we both have going on in our professional lives as well. But I know we're really excited about the progress, and both on the fundraising side and the facility side. And you were just on campus recently and got to see firsthand some of that progress, interact with some student athletes. So just tell everybody, kind of what did you think about being on campus and getting to see some of our progress?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You start with something and you have first it's conversation, right? So you see a bunch of words or you hear a bunch of words. Then you see some renderings. Here's a couple of drawings. This is what it could be, right? This is the vision. This is what we're thinking. And then you see the price tag and you go, ooh, all right, are we really going to be able to get there, right? So, all those things kind of, rush through your head, or at least they rush through my head. And actually being on campus with a lot of fundraising activities that have been going on over the past year, and then seeing progress, and then they're not just drawings anymore. Seeing that space evolve, over time. And I've been fortunate, even in COVID, to be out to campus a few times and see a little bit of the progress as it's moved along. And so we were in the golf center, And the golf center now has turf in it, and it has one of the simulators. I know there's more equipment coming, but one of the simulators is up and functioning, and had the opportunity to actually bring a golf club and swing it a little bit, even though it was like 23 below zero outside, which was awesome to swing a golf club. But in there was one of the freshmen on the golf team, and he's from Canada, and just talking with him and him kind of navigating the simulator for me and with us and kind of showing the different capabilities of it. Boy, just to hear the passion in his voice and the excitement and the gratitude and, what this means, to him individually, but for the program. And it was just, that's what this is all about, just to see that. So, so the facilities, that looks great. The turf center, real progress being made there. You can actually visualize. You can put yourself in that space now and see it being used, which is very exciting. And then the different things that have been going on with the Simone gym and all the different things in that space too.
For those capable, why would you encourage them to still give as we kind of enter this final push for Ranger Vision 2020?
Yeah, I think it's on a couple of different levels. One is what we just talked about, just the impact that it has on the students today, the ones that are there. And that's sort of the athletes, what we just touched on. But just the general student population. These facilities are going to be able to be used by the other students at Parkside, the campus life, the folks that are living on campus. It gives a potential, a whole nother dynamic that hasn't existed ever. At the university. Beyond that, the community. We were thinking about it. I know a friend of ours, Stan Anderson, runs soccer camps and has his own, incredible business and has done a great job over the years. He's going to be able to hold camps, year round in a state-of-the-art space. What does that mean to the community as an example? And that's just one example. In that space, the golf center itself, what you're going to be able to do then. If you when you give to this, and then these things are done, what it means for the programs going forward is, and a lot of people may or may not realize this, but the operating budgets of the athletic department, they're not flush with cash. That money isn't just sitting there like, hey, cool. There's a lot of fundraising that has to go on to be able to play in a season and get gear and all the things that are associated with that. So being able to have these different spaces will allow for other revenue producing opportunities for the athletic department as a whole, which will be, I think, a significant game changer. And that we haven't even talked about recruiting and bringing students on campus and getting them to commit, which is only helps all of us, because graduation rates for student athletes are actually significantly higher than somebody that isn't a student athlete for various reasons. So usually when you do get a student athlete on campus, they're going to be there for their 4 or 5 years, and they're going to end up graduating, which is the all-end mission of the university when everything's said and done.
Wonderfully said, and I think hit on, what I'm excited about for a lot of these projects is, we're going to bring 6-year-olds here, and then we're going to bring 17, 18-year-olds here and recruit them and try to get them to, convince them to become Rangers. Then we want to provide them with a great experience, which these facilities are going to help us do, and ultimately, churn out that many more alumni like you that, had a great Parkside story, that want to give back, want to invest, know how it impacted their lives. So really is a very, full circle thing, and we can see all of that come to fruition. Thanks for the work that you and the foundation board are doing on behalf of our students, and obviously thank you for your support and being a great teammate for me as well on Ranger Vision 2020. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll keep going as we reach our goals here in the coming months. But thanks, Rocky, for spending some time with us today.